Hello everyone. It's great to see you again in today's video. Early in the morning, when the sun had not yet revealed its first rays, Tu Tien quietly woke up. In the quiet space of the house, her light footsteps echoed softly. She carefully held the soft towel. Each movement of wiping the table and chairs was meticulous and slow, as if afraid of disturbing the sleep of everyone in the house. The bruise on her forehead was still red, but Tu Tien did not complain at all. Her eyes were attentive, her eyelashes slightly lowered, her gaze mixed with fatigue, but also full of determination. The glass table gradually became shiny under her hand, reflecting the image of a small but strong girl, not afraid of pain, not afraid of hardship. While diligently wiping away the remaining dust on the glass table, Tu Tien bowed her head slightly, her braided hair flowing freely with the rhythm of her hands. Just then, the door opened. Jack's mother walked in after her early trip to the market, still holding a bunch of bright yellow bananas. Her eyes were surprised for a moment, then quickly turned to worry when she saw Tu Tien working hard. "Oh my God! You're not fully recovered yet, but you're already up to work?" She gently put the bag down on the table, walked closer. Her voice was a bit reproachful but full of love. Tu Tien looked up, smiled gently. Her cheeks were a little red from embarrassment. "I'm much better. I just wiped it," she said softly, her hands still intending to continue working. Not letting her work more, Jack's mother quickly put her hand on her shoulder and pulled her to sit down on the wooden chair. Her gentle eyes mixed with the determination of an adult in the house. "Even though you're well, you still need to take care of yourself. You should rest. I'll do the housework later." Tu Tien smiled awkwardly, clearly feeling her sincere concern. Jack's mother gently brushed away a few strands of hair that were falling on Tu Tien's forehead, her voice small but full of worry. "Let me see. Does the wound on your forehead still hurt? Yesterday I saw it was still swollen." Hearing that warm voice, Tu Tien slightly lowered her head, a thin smile appearing on her lips. "Yes, I'm much better. It just hurts a little." She frowned slightly, her hand lightly touching the red and swollen area as if afraid of hurting her. Her loving eyes could not hide her pity. "Just tell the truth, don't try to bear it. You're still very weak, you need to rest a lot. No one in this house will let you work hard." Tu Tien was confused, her two hands clasped together, her eyes looking down as if she didn't know how to respond to that sudden concern. Jack's mother suddenly remembered something. She opened the bag placed next to her and took out a neatly clipped stack of money. She placed it on Tu Tien's hand, her voice sincere but carrying the caring tone of someone who was used to taking care of her family. "You stay at home. If you want to buy anything, just buy it. If you lack anything, don't be shy. Just tell me or buy it yourself." Tu Tien's eyes widened. She quickly shook her head, her hands avoiding as if afraid of touching something that didn't belong to her. "No, uncle, I don't dare accept it. I'm still staying at our house. You and Jack have helped me so much already." Her face turned red with embarrassment, her eyes awkwardly looking down at the floor. But Jack's mother wouldn't let her refuse. She took Tu Tien's hand, gently but firmly placed the stack of money in it, then closed her open fingers. Tu Tien bit her lip. Her heart trembled slightly with emotion. Although her hands still held the stack of money tightly, her eyes were filled with gratitude. Just as Tu Tien was still awkwardly putting away the stack of money in her hand, Jack walked out, his hair still a bit messy because he had just woken up, but his eyes immediately became gentle when he saw his mother and Tu Tien sitting next to each other. He approached, sat down next to Tu Tien, one hand gently placed on the back of the chair, his voice mixed with curiosity and concern. "What's the matter? What are you two talking about that you look so serious?" Tu Tien was startled for a moment, then turned to look at Jack. Her eyes blinked slightly. Her appearance was shy. "Mom gave me money and told me to use it when I need it. But I don't dare accept it." Jack heard that and immediately laughed softly, gently rubbing Tu Tien's shoulder to reassure her. "Just accept it, don't be shy. Mom loves you, so she gives it to you." But sooner or later, he looked at her with warm eyes. his voice deep and gentle. "We are also people from the same family." Tu Tien was stunned. Her heart fluttered slightly at that sentence. Her face was red. Her eyes shyly looked down. The corners of her lips couldn't help but curve into a small smile. Jack's mother sitting next to her also laughed gently. Her eyes filled with satisfaction when she saw the two young people shyly loving each other. Then Jack added that today was the day Tu Tien had to go to the hospital for a health checkup, so he would take her there for an ultrasound. "Now Tu Tien, go get changed and come down here, we can go together." Hearing Jack say that, Tu Tien obediently went into the room to change clothes and then went with Jack to the hospital for a checkup. As Tu Tien just went to the dressing room, Jack's mother slowly poured more tea downstairs, her expression suddenly becoming serious as she remembered the past. She turned to her son, her voice lowered as if afraid that Tu Tien would hear and make her think. "Yesterday, Tu Tien's mother-in-law came to see me. She said she wanted to borrow some money, saying that she was having a hard time and wanted to borrow some money from me. She also said that she knew about her biological parents." Hearing his mother say that, Jack frowned and said, "Don't believe her. She's just taking advantage of your trust." Jack shook his head immediately, his eyes determined. "The last time she asked to meet me, she said the same thing. She also said she knew about Tu Tien's family and then asked me for money. In the end, there was nothing. She just wanted to take advantage of her. She doesn't truly love Tu Tien. If she considered her a daughter-in-law, she wouldn't have abandoned her like that when Tu Tien was in trouble. Don't let someone like that fool you again." Jack's mother was silent for a moment when she heard that. Her eyes changed from hesitant to more determined. "I know. Hearing you say that, I feel even more sorry for Tu Tien. She really suffered a lot." While talking, Tu Tien finished changing and came out. When the two people saw her, they stopped talking because they were afraid that when Tu Tien heard those things, it would make her think more and negatively affect her current health. Jack stood up to say goodbye to his mother to take Tu Tien to the doctor. His mother told the two people to be careful on the road. The relatives told their son that if he came back early from the doctor's appointment, he should take Tu Tien out somewhere to relax her mind. Jack smiled and listened to his mother's advice. Then he helped Tu Tien to the car and left. Jack took Tu Tien to the hospital for a health check. Right from the moment she got out of the car, Tu Tien was a bit shy, her hands gently holding Jack's as if looking for support. The faint smell of antiseptic in the air, the sound of footsteps of doctors and patients walking around made her a bit nervous. Her eyes glanced around awkwardly. Jack realized that anxiety. He gently held her hand, both reassuring and whispering, "It's okay. I'm here." His warm smile and determined eyes seemed to give Tu Tien more courage. She nodded slightly, letting him help her step by step into the examination room. Although her heart was still beating fast because of nervousness, Tu Tien clearly felt the protection in every gesture of Jack. From the time he took the initiative to do the procedure, to each time he turned back to ask if she was tired. In that embrace, the fear gradually disappeared, replaced by a strange feeling of security, as if as long as Jack was by her side, everything would be okay. When entering the ultrasound room, Jack gently helped Tu Tien lie down on the bed, his eyes always following every expression on her face. The doctor gently pulled the machine. Each operation was careful and professional. The ultrasound screen lit up, displaying a blurry but sacred image of the fetus in Tu Tien's belly. When the doctor nodded to confirm that the fetus was still healthy, Jack's heart felt like a burden had been lifted. He helped Tu Tien sit up, his arms still around her back to keep her from getting dizzy. Then he helped her to the chair to sit and wait for the doctor to give the results. Jack and Tu Tien sat next to each other in front of the ultrasound room, both of them nervous. Tu Tien placed both hands on her belly, her eyes filled with anxiety, occasionally glancing at Jack as if seeking reassurance. Jack was no better. His hand gently squeezed hers, his palm slightly damp from tension. Time passed so slowly, each second seemed to drag on endlessly. Finally, the doctor handed over the results in his hand. Both of their heartbeats seemed to stop. When they heard the doctor smile and announce, "The baby is developing normally. All indicators are good," Tu Tien was moved. Her eyes suddenly lit up, and Jack breathed a sigh of relief as if he had just let go of a heavy rock in his heart. He gently held her hand, a happy smile clearly visible in his eyes. However, the doctor continued to advise, "Mom's health is still weak. She needs to rest a lot, limit heavy work, and keep her mind relaxed." Both of them nodded in unison. Jack immediately appeared worried, seriously remembering every word of advice. He turned to look at Tu Tien with a gentle yet determined gaze, as if from this moment on he would take even more care of her and the child. With the results in hand, Jack gently helped Tu Tien stand up and then took her out of the ultrasound room. Walking out into the hospital hallway, both of them felt like a burden had been lifted. They found a long chair near the window to sit and rest. Tu Tien carefully opened the ultrasound paper, while Jack leaned over to look at it together. When they saw the lines of parameters and the small image, happy smiles appeared on their lips. Jack quietly looked at Tu Tien, his eyes full of love and pride, as if the whole world now only had the two of them and the little creature in Tu Tien's belly. Then Jack turned, gently patted Tu Tien's shoulder and said in a gentle but also somewhat mysterious voice, "Let's go home and I'll take you to this place." Tu Tien looked up at him, her eyes confused and a bit curious. Then the two of them walked to the car together to leave. Jack gently led Tu Tien through the small, shady path, the large garden filled with the fresh scent of leaves and wildflowers. The chirping of birds mixed with the gentle breeze made the space strangely peaceful. When the small house appeared, the tiled roof had faded over time. An old woman stepped out from inside the house. Her eyes were kind. Her lips curved into a warm smile. "Are Jack and Tu Tien going there, my child?" the old woman said, her voice warm. Jack and Tu Tien bowed politely to her. Then she invited the two of them inside to sit and drink water. Jack gently introduced to Tu Tien, "She is Uncle Dung's close friend. Before, there was a time when you lived here with her. Today I brought you here hoping that maybe you can remember something." Tu Tien nodded slightly, her eyes hesitantly looking at the house, as if searching for a lost memory. Then Jack told the old woman about Tu Tien's accident and her memory loss. Now she can't remember anyone. The old woman was stunned. Her eyes opened wide in surprise. Her thin hands put down the glass of water, trembling slightly. She turned to look at Tu Tien, her eyes filled with pity, as if looking at a relative who had just lost their way and returned but whose heart was still a stranger. The old woman patted the chair next to her, her eyes looking at Tu Tien affectionately. "Come here and sit next to me for a bit." Tu Tien was a little embarrassed but still stood up and walked over. When she sat down, the old woman gently took her hand, her thin hand but warm like the arms of an old relative. "Let me see the wound on your forehead." The old woman gently brushed Tu Tien's hair aside. Her fingers trembled, touching very lightly as if afraid of causing her more pain. "Oh my God! It hurts to look at it. You've suffered a lot." Tu Tien just smiled slightly. The feeling of her closeness warmed her heart, although the memory was still as hazy as the morning mist. She tried to search her mind for some vague image, a familiar feeling, an old memory, but all that was left was a vast void. Jack sat opposite looking at that scene, his heart was silent. The simple moment but filled with emotions of hope, love, and a little regret for all that Tu Tien had to go through. He felt that even this place could not help Tu Tien remember anything. So he quickly stood up and asked the old lady for permission for the two of them to leave so that Tu Tien could go home and rest. The old lady immediately agreed. She saw the two of them out to the door. Before leaving, she told Jack that when he had free time, he would bring Tu Tien here to play with her, hoping that she would soon regain her memories. Jack happily agreed. Then they both said goodbye to the old lady to leave. Going out to the car, Tu Tien still felt sad because she could not remember anything. Jack immediately comforted her and said, "Well, now I will take you to this place again." Jack gently held Tu Tien's hand, leading her along the dirt path that still smelled of lime and mortar. In front of them, a small, pretty house was gradually taking shape in the middle of a lush green valley, its bright red tiled roof standing out against the green of the mountains and forests. The workers were still diligently completing the final details. The sound of hammers and the sound of materials colliding echoed in the quiet space. Jack whispered to her, "This is our house?" Tu Tien's eyes were filled with surprise and disbelief. Jack added that after this house was finished in a few days, he and I would move here to live with our children. Before Tu Tien could reply, she suddenly stopped. Her hand was raised to her forehead, her face pale. A sharp pain like a knife stabbed into her head, causing her to close her eyes tightly. Her breathing was rapid. Fragments of memories suddenly flashed. Laughter echoed under the porch. The image of two people discussing the future, Jack's hand holding her in his arms, the promise of a forever home. Memories that seemed lost suddenly knocked softly on her mind, like the first rays of light penetrating the thick fog. Tu Tien stood silently outside, her distant eyes looking towards the house still littered with materials. The mountain wind gently blew through her hair, yet her heart was more confused than ever. She tried to force herself to remember the blurry images, the passing voices, but everything was like broken pieces of mirror mixed in the fog. Every time she tried to concentrate, the sharp pain came again, making her frown, her hand unconsciously squeezing her temple. From inside the house, Jack walked out the door, his voice warm but full of worry. "Tu Tien, come in here and look inside. I want you to see everything." Tu Tien startled and turned around. She took a deep breath, walking slowly towards him. When she got closer, her eyes lit up with a fragile light. "Jack, I seem to remember a few things just now." Jack was stunned for a second. Then a smile lit up his face, gentle but full of hope. He looked at her as if the world had just opened a new door. Jack's eyes lit up, like a beacon of hope shining in the darkness. "Really? You remember?" His voice trembled slightly with joy. Tu Tien nodded slightly, although she was still a bit tired from the pain. "Not much. But I see the image of us standing together here and talking about the future." Jack's heart seemed to be filled with strength after long days of worry. He gently took her hand and squeezed it lightly. "Just a little bit is enough. You don't have to rush. Your memories will return gradually. I believe that." Tu Tien looked at him, a strange sense of security welling up in her heart. Although the past was still hazy, at this moment the warmth beside Jack was clearer than ever. And in that moment, between the sound of the forest wind and the sounds of construction mixed together, that small hope seemed to become a warm flame that gave strength to both of them to continue on the road ahead.